Absolutely
Mm-hmm.
good with that.
Yeah. Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Hello,
Um,
hello,
miss
guys.
you ladies, miss all you viewers out there. We hope
We
that you all
do.
happy Easter to you guys. I hope you had a blessed resurrection Sunday, weekend,
Mhm.
week, or whatever, because I know there's some
Yeah.
traditions for a lot of families out there, whatever. But I
Yep.
hope it was sweet and pleasantful and full of memories and all those great things. So, um,
Absolutely.
how was your Easter with your babies?
It was great. We went to church. It was
Yeah,
definitely a long service.
of
It was
course.
definitely
Yeah.
good, and oh, you need to cook 1 second. I gotta get something for Therese. Yeah, it was definitely good. So we just went to church and then we just came home. So it was
Oh,
definitely good though. Really, really good service. Like
good.
it was so interesting because everyone that doesn't come to church throughout
Mm-hmm.
the year ends up coming on Easter Sunday. So it was good to see
True.
some people again. Therese, I didn't get the code. Therese just asked for the code. Go ahead, love. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Our weekend was good. It was decent. We had a good time, like you said, every Sunday, every Easter. For the majority of churches across America, is always going to be packed up with people
Yeah.
that don't come maybe once or twice out of the
Oh
year.
yes. 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 So
But
it's
at
hard because
least they came.
yeah, because you know how some
You know.
churches are. It's like people got their own seat, their own section. So it's like if you don't come
Hmm.
early, you're gonna miss out
Oh
on your
yeah,
seat. So it
yeah.
is what it is.
Yep, that's true. That is the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. You
Yes.
gotta get there early, get a parking spot so you don't have to
Yep.
walk miles and miles to get to the door.
Yes. Definitely.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I had wanted to just chat with you ladies very quickly before we get to our topic. But
Mhm.
I was just sharing with the girls here with Teresa and Leticia about two things I wanted to share with you. Again, is a major issue. We had talked about this a while back about our teenagers, on their social media, on their electronic devices, and this gaming called I don't know if it's what is Roblox.
Roblox. Mhm. Yep.
Roblox.
Roblox.
And came across a video recently, and I think that case was maybe about at least a good month or so old. So it's recent. It is
Mhm.
current. But a father was, very distraught, as he should. They had interviewed him about the whole situation as to what happened, and when he started taking notice about his daughter was, getting caught up with the stranger that she was connecting to on these platforms here. And he said that she at the beginning, she was a lively kid, all of that, as most of teenagers are, lively,
Right.
fun, connecting, all those things. And he knew that she was on that. If I remember correctly, he knew that she was on it, but he was still monitoring. That's one thing I have to give him credit. He was still monitoring, her phones and stuff like that.
Right.
um but of course, these predators are very, very they talented. I have give them some credit here. They
Yeah.
know how to do, because they've been doing this for a
Yep.
minute.
For a
And
long time.
for a long time, absolutely. And the young lady, eventually she just started connecting with this individual, and point to the point that the predator purchased a cell phone for her, and
Mm.
he purchased a cell phone for her. And
Wow.
so, I guess yeah, because to keep it private between him and her, so he already had the number, all that information that he needed. And of
Mm.
course, he just, was, as they call it, grooming her,
Mhm.
step by step. So eventually, after a while, things got a little bit more sketchy and a little bit more
Right.
daunting and all of that, to the point her whole demeanor started shifting and changing. And eventually, she was just looking a little bit more rugged. And after a while, the predator was like testing her, like, if you really
Right.
love me, trust me, whatever, I want you to, cut your arm and this, that, or whatever. So you
Oh my
see that
god.
they showed her arm with cuts and stuff like that.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And it really got that intense. And eventually, she was doing some other things that he had demanded her to do and all of that. And because, they will have a hold on them, they have them to do some, you know stuff, to show off their
Right.
body parts and stuff. And these kids don't quite understand that they're using it as a weapon to them. You're like, if you don't do it, I'm going to expose you, yada, 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 yada. So, but unfortunately, by the time the dad pretty much had caught up and realized what was happening to his daughter, unfortunately,
Yep.
she, you know, but the thing is, the dad said that he was always attentive with her. He did not like totally dismiss her on purpose or whatever. He
Mhm.
always was there with her, and they communicated well and all those things and whatnot. But
Right.
unfortunately, she just got really caught up in it, and you know. So I just want to just remind us moms out there to please, please, please do not overlook your child's phone or laptop or
Mhm.
computer, because school is about to end soon, and if your
Mhm.
kids are not eligible to work outside of home, guess what, they will be in that house in their room every day, all day and all night,
Yep.
playing on those
Devices. Yeah.
devices, and so you definitely need to be on your P's and Q's and talk to them. There's one thing to just monitor, what was those apps that's on their phones or what have you.
Mhm.
It's important to do so, but it's so important, ladies, moms, and if there are
Mhm.
guys watching the after show, I mean after, the show, whatever, it's so important to talk to them. Please
Mhm.
talk to them. Tell them the
Mhm.
seriousness of this, you know, because just because you talking to someone that's real friendly in this, it doesn't mean that child is 12 or 15. That is a grown person that's in their 30s, 40s, and or 50s. And, they are already scoping out, because they ask these kids general questions. And then after a while,
Mhm.
once they start building that trust factor,
Yeah. They're very patient.
yeah, they move to the next phase and start
Mhm.
asking more intimate questions,
Mhm.
just to get to see, just, get to know their parents' whereabouts, where they work, they got siblings, and their kids had, they need all that information so they can use it against that child.
Mhm. Mhm.
Child refuses to do this particular act that they want them to do.
Right.
So I just pray that we all just really do not get so comfortable with life
Right.
and just totally dismiss our kids. Just please get on them. And I know some of them, they hard headed and all that stuff. They get attitude. You the parent, okay?
Yep. You're a
You
parent. You got to put your foot down.
you gotta put your foot down. You gotta let them know what's up, okay?
Yeah.
Because you ain't got time. You don't have time for a funeral. You ain't got time for jail bail money. You
Yep.
ain't got time for none of that.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so you're gonna have to get gangster. I'm sorry to
Yeah.
say it. You're just gonna have to.
You have
Um,
to.
because it's just crazy out here. And kids connect with other kids. So,
Yeah.
one kid may say, "Oh, I came across this app and it's so much fun." And your kid
Yep.
will go ahead and download it without even asking your permission. Some might do, but others will do it automatically and not think there's no harm, no
Yeah.
foul. But behind that, it is a lot of predators that's seeking who they want to devour. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, please, please, please be aware of that. The other thing I wanted to share very quickly is to ladies, those of you who are in the or the perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause stage. I know I'm going through it right now, and I have already went through some of the symptoms. But I know, well, right now, recently, I've been noticing with my hair been thinning out and all those things, and I have naturally long, thick hair and all of that. But
Mhm.
that thinning comes out like that when you just naturally comb your hair and you just getting globs of it, it's like, what the heck,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
out. And I understand that it can really be very discouraging, disheartening, and it can also have women to believe that they're not beautiful, they're not attractive enough, and all those things. Well,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
sure that you are, and I know it's hard to receive that and to hear it, but you are beautiful. But what I have started doing, honestly, is now decided to start wearing some wigs. Okay. And there's nothing wrong wearing them, ladies. There's nothing wrong wearing wigs, because people wearing them all the time, regardless, if they're healthy or they have any
All
other
the
type
time.
of situation. So it's nothing wrong wearing that. And I just say that to say, because I know there's some sisters or some women that, probably are very standoffish about that. And I get it. I understand. But there's nothing wrong with it. And I know some ways can be very costly. I get that too. But there's some nice ones on Amazon that's very, very inexpensive, and you can wear so well. If you've been wearing wigs anyway before in the past, you would know how to manipulate it, all that stuff. It's easy. It's not even an issue. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, ladies, I just want to bring that to your attention, because here's the thing: we don't talk about it enough. We don't, bring out these issues as we should, because there's another generation behind us that's coming, and they need to, understand that this is part of life. There's nothing, you can't run away from it. Not every woman is going to experience, most of the symptoms, but you will experience something. And it can be depleting, it can be exhausting, and it could be very scary sometimes, because it sometimes have you think there's something else going on with your body, but it's just the menopause process. It will have you to think that, there's something more serious happening or going on with your body, and praying that it's not. But when you go to the doctor, especially to your gynecologist, for sure, you know, um, they will tell you, okay, they definitely will ask you questions. I would assume they should, right? Just to see what's going on. And then when you tell them these symptoms, they will 9 times out of 10 will say, okay, well, everything turned out great after your physical, get the blood work done or whatever. 9 times out of 10, they will tell you you are in that menopause stage. This is part of this,
Right.
part of life. There are some remedies, or I won't even say remedies, but there's some, options to take, like hormone pills or something
Mhm.
to that effect. But there's some side effects to those things. But to each his own. Um,
Mhm.
I personally don't care for it, because I don't want to experience no side effects at all. I mean, my body's already going through a side effect. What
Mhm.
more do I
Mhm.
need
Mhm.
to, take that stuff in my system to make it even worse? So, but every woman is different. So I just
Mhm.
want to share this with women, that if those of you who are in that stage right now in your life, you're going to experience some things. Your body is going to reject. It's going to reject you. It's not
Mhm.
going to be on the same page like you want it to be. You're going to get bloated.
Right.
That's how it is when you go in the time of the month. Your body bloat.
Right.
Stomach starts to
Right.
bloat. And unfortunately, yeah, that's going to happen too. You're going to have some discomfort.
Mhm.
All these things that I have experienced, and it
Mhm.
is very uncomfortable for me, but it happens. But
Yeah.
do not allow those symptoms to beat you down to the point that you don't see yourself, beautiful or attractive or sexy or whatever it is. You are still beautiful. You still powerful, all those things, you know. But definitely go ahead and bless yourself with getting a wig, or if not, get the passion twist, get the braiding. The braidings are
Mhm.
really cute for a lot of people, you know.
Mhm.
Um, and I know, like I said, everything is so expensive nowadays. Get it professionally done if you can. God bless you. If you can't, then start, working out for yourself.
Mhm.
Braid your own hair, twist your own hair, do what you need to do.
Mhm.
But do not allow these situations to really damper you, and have you to feel, less attractive. That's all
Right. Right.
that's what I wanted to share.
Right. And that's so important that we mention this. And I love that we're talking about this for all the women that are watching.
Hmm.
We're building awareness. When it comes to menopause, even premenopause, there's so many women that are in the premenopause stage and don't
Yep.
realize it. Like their temperament is getting shorter, their
Yep.
mood swings are getting worse. And you may think,
Yeah.
oh, it's whatever, but really it's premenopause. So I find and discover, even for me, I'm a huge advocate of definitely going to see your doctors regularly.
Hmm.
Whenever there's hair thinning or even your skin getting dry or fingers
Yeah.
getting swollen, it's
Yeah.
like menopause it's already taken so much strain on your body. I
Hmm.
know a couple of months back, I was getting a lot of brain fog where I could just be in the supermarket and I just feel like it wasn't dizziness. It was just like I
Yeah.
was forgetting things. It was brain
Yeah.
fog. And when I went to see my doctor, he told me the supplements I need to take, the natural supplements. So I,
Hmm.
partnered up with a company and I had started taking those, and that has changed me dramatically overnight. So a lot of times as we're getting hair thinning or our skin is getting drier or we're just getting brain fog or fatigue or we're
Yeah.
just extra
Yeah.
tired,
Yeah.
we got to start adding more. nutrients to our bodies,
We do.
what were the supplements we take, what we're eating,
Yeah.
all the things,
Yeah.
and let our body readjust to the new chapter in our lives. So for me, what works for me, I'm
Mm-hmm.
43 years old, and like I said, I once I started getting into my 40s, it was memory loss, brain fog, I would forget things. Like I said, I would always forget things, and gut health issues, huge gut. If I was to say my top issue in
Yeah.
my early 40s is definitely gut health, stomach pain, all that, right? Gas,
Mm-hmm.
everything. So
Mm-hmm.
I had, I had to go to the doctor. I had to go, go there, do the tubing down my throat, everything like that. So do
Wow.
not overlook, ladies, these symptoms that come up.
Yeah.
Address them immediately. Don't be on chat GPT. I've been a lot of people, I love chat GPT and Google and all that. Go see your doctor. Go
Yeah.
see your doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and that let them do some regular blood work, and so you can figure out what's going on. And you can actually, if you do your regular blood work and you do it on a consistent basis, you could actually see what levels your levels as far as your levels going up and down and
Yeah.
sideways and stuff, and you're
Mm-hmm.
able to know what type of what you need to take, what you need to eat, what you
Mm.
need to start eating more of. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's true.
I started doing intermittent fasting, and it
Mm-hmm.
has been a struggle in the beginning, but it has helped me a lot because I was a huge late eater. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's a certain time of day that I don't, after 5 o'clock, I don't eat anything until
Mm-hmm.
9 a.m. the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying for everyone to do this. All I'm saying, ladies, is that for me being the age I am, I had to look at, my health big time because I
Yeah.
was having all the same issues that the women in my family were
Mm-hmm.
having. So
Mm-hmm.
again, premenopausal is a real thing. I had a
It
friend
sure
actually
is.
I had a friend who has a friend that is going through premenopausal, and I was like, listen, she's premenopausal. And they couldn't figure out what the heck was wrong with this person. I'm like, yeah, she's going through premenopause. I think you need to tell her to go see a doctor, because it is a
Mhm.
struggle,
It
as
is.
we shift and change. I get it. I get it.
It
I
is.
get it. I get it. Yeah.
Especially in the mental state too, ladies,
Yeah.
because your mind, like you said, you have that fogness going on sometimes, and you know um you start to go downhill mentally because you seeing how your body's just digressing, and it's
Yeah.
and it is what it is for some women. And some women are tough as nails. They could fight through it, but there for the majority, it is something that it has to really slowly progress, something that they have to grow into. And that
Yeah.
and I speak for myself on that, because I talk to
Yeah.
God all the time about this darn menopause, and Lord, I hate it. I hate it with
Yeah.
a passion,
Yeah. Yeah.
because one minute I'm good, the next minute I'm not feeling my best,
Yeah.
and it does that to you. But yeah, there are supplements out there. I know, what is it, Black Girl Vitamins, they have one called Mental Chill. I have not purchased it yet. I have purchased their one a day or once a day
Mm-hmm.
vitamin from them. But they do have the Mental Chill, and what I love about their website is that they have testimonials. So all of those
Yeah.
persons who have purchased their supplements, they are posting it. They're posting their testimonials, and so that definitely gives you feedback as to how their
How the
supplements are
product is
working.
working. Yeah.
Exactly, and it's
I
been top
actually,
tier
yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah, I've used Black Girl Vitamins. I used the D3 because, like I said, I was
Yes.
having issues with brain fog, and the D3 helps with the brain fog.
Mm-hmm.
I use a different line of products now. I still
Yeah.
have some of the Black Girl products, but the biggest thing for me, and for those of you who are watching too, is the gut health piece. I know that if we focus on really treating that, a lot of the
Yeah.
issues that happens outside of that will help your digestive tract. How is food and minerals being processed through your digestion?
Yep.
Because again, with menopause, is something in your body that's depleting that you
Yes,
need to
Lord.
feed it. It's same
Everything
thing
the
with kids. Like
progesterone.
my son, he's 18, and he has to take certain supplements now that he's 18 years old. He's
Mhm.
the body of a grown man,
Yeah.
taller than
Yeah.
me. So it's like it's those things we got to take. So yeah, yeah, that's a good blend. Black Girl Vitamins. Oh, there's tons. There's
Just
tons.
tons.
Just
Absolutely.
check. Yeah, you're right. Check testimonials. Try not to go crazy, y'all, with all these people taking shots and stuff. I don't advocate for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know some people do thing where they stick the needle in their veins and you go
Mhm.
to a center and do it. You don't do it yourself. And they
Yeah,
ingest all these minerals in your veins. I don't know how safe that is. I can't
yeah,
tell you.
yeah.
But yeah, I had to start back with the products. Yeah,
Mhm.
well, the products that I use, those of y'all who know, I use Plexus products. I use their whole practically most of their line of products I use on a day-to-day basis. Basically the probiotic and the gut health. Because
Mhm.
that's been my biggest issue for the
Yeah.
past 3 4 years. Yeah.
Amen. Yeah, the gut health ain't no joke, y'all. The
It's
food that
not.
you used to eat back in the day, they was
Oh,
not even an issue with you. But now that your body
oh
is
my
breaking down
gosh.
because you're losing the estrogen and the progesterone. That's what I have
Yes.
studied. And that's
Yes.
wreaking havoc for your body.
Yes.
And your
Real bad.
digestive system, oh my God. That I tell you, the stuff that I enjoy and stuff. I have
Mm-hmm.
to pretty much like slow down from eating it or
Slow
just
down
not
with.
eat it at all because I don't like my tummy get irritated and then it has me running to the bathroom like I took
Yeah,
five
I don't even play
laxatives.
with it anymore, Tawanta. I be like you said, I be really wanting something. I be like, I don't want to go through that pain
Right.
after
Yes.
I eat it. It's like, and there's
Yes.
things that I love that I cannot eat right now. And it's
Yeah.
just come with the realization of life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
shoot, man, we can go on for days about this topic, but you
Yeah.
would see your regular doctor, y'all. Try some supplement products. Don't to the stream of the shots and the
Right.
UV stuff. And you don't want to put your body into like shock because you can actually damage it. You could hurt it more than help it.
That's true. That's
Definitely.
true.
Yeah.
So
We
those
got a
are
good
things that
topic today.
yeah, we do. We have a topic,
Yes.
y'all. We miss y'all.
Yeah.
We haven't been here for what, 2 weeks now? I think it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yes. I know
2 weeks.
for me, I had some church stuff to do. We had a huge transition with leadership. So Mondays was like the day that it was like, oh, crazy. But yeah, we're back at it. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure y'all give us love with the comments, the likes, and all the things. So without further ado, I love today's topic. I actually forgot about what today's topic was. And when I looked up on my screen, I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. But go ahead to watch it. Share what we be talking about today.
Yeah, we are going to be talking about it's just a reminder, ladies, because we need to
Yeah.
keep reminding ourselves about certain things that's going on.
Yes.
So keep showing up. This is what we're going
Keep
to talk
on.
about. Keep on showing up. What does that mean by showing up? So there's so many different definitions based on that person's situation in life. But whatever is going on in your life, you got to keep moving. So that's what I
Right.
mean by keep showing up. You got to be active, not just physical, but also in your mental, also in verbal conversations,
Yeah.
and not just talking any kind of way, like garbage talk. No, you got to really start talking something that's positive, that's going to feed back into your life, that's going to
Right.
help you along the
Mm-hmm.
way, your journey. So we're going to
Right.
get started with the first point. So what is the thing that we need to do to keep showing up? Show up even when the process feels uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That is the truth because I know for a lot of us sisters out there, we're probably in a stage of life where we are just now trying to get back on track. Especially if you are an empty nester or you have adult children and they
Right.
finish school and they're working or whatever the case may be, and you are not doing your motherly duties, you
Mm-hmm.
know, start putting, for me, I am retired. I am a retired stay-at-home mom. That is
Mm.
my definition for me. I
Right.
don't know if that exists, but it exists this time for me. I am a retired stay-at-home mom because I have two young adult daughters now. And so they don't need me. They may want me, but they don't need me because they're at the stage of their life now. They got to figure life out now, and they are doing that, right? But in the meantime, I'm trying to figure out what's next for me,
Right.
so it is uncomfortable because you have committed your life, you're like 20 years plus for me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I realize I'm not the same person that I was 20 years ago.
Right.
My way of thinking is different because of what I experienced throughout that journey, you
Right.
know.
Right.
And education wise, yeah, I got a degree and all of that, but now what I have learned I want to go back out into the education world and teach, but I'm like, how I'm gonna do that? This
Right,
thing or
right,
whatever. So
right.
there's so many women. I know I'm not alone. There's so many women out there trying to figure out what's next. And it can
Mhm,
be very daunting. It could be very
mhm,
scary and uncomfortable. But in order
mhm,
for you to start seeing anything happening for your life, you
mhm.
have to show up. You have to go ahead and start the process going.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time because you now are learning new things. Okay,
Mhm.
you learning through and receive those new things that you learn,
Yeah. Mhm.
because things are not the same as they were when you were 20, when you were 30 years old. Now
Right.
you 50 plus, and things have evolved. Back in the day, technology wasn't as advanced back then, especially in the 90s.
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
it was just growing pretty much.
Mhm.
Now
Mhm.
it's like technology world everywhere, and that can be
Everywhere.
a lesson,
Mhm.
for you, depending on what you
Mhm.
see yourself doing, for your career. Some of you want to go
Mhm.
back into the workforce, but you're really
Mhm.
scared or intimidated because, you see the younger generation, you see how they're
Mhm.
doing, and you
Mhm.
looking at your life and you're like, well, I'm an old head. I don't think nobody want to hire me. Well, look, you know what?
Mhm.
You have enough knowledge to start your own brand. How about
Yeah. Do
that?
your own thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
your own
Absolutely.
thing. So put
Mhm.
that on your to-do list.
Mhm.
How do I branch out? How do I start this process? It's going to be uncomfortable, but go ahead and keep showing up. Start doing some research, connect with people who are entrepreneurs, connect with people that has been doing very well in their career, in their businesses, and that will give you some insight, whatever it is. I mean, it may be a
Mhm.
business, it may be something else, but at the end of
Mhm.
the day, we want so much to happen in our lives in the next
Mhm.
5, 6 months or what have you.
Mhm.
But in order for anything to really come positive for us or to see anything happening, we have to be the one to initiate that process. We
That's
have to
right. We
be the one
do.
to activate on that.
We
So
do.
yeah, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to make you feel kind of like, I don't know. But how many times have we have talked to our kids and told them
To
that,
just do
yeah,
it.
it's going to be uncomfortable, but you can do it, right?
Yep. You can do anything you put your mind
You
to.
can do
Yep.
anything you put your mind to, right?
Yep.
And I done that with my daughters when they were young, and now that
Same
I'm
here.
branching out and doing certain things, and I tell my oldest daughter, she's like, "Okay, go ahead and do it. Just do it, mom.
George,
Just do it."
push. Yeah. Yeah.
So just go ahead and do it. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you can do it because there's so
Yes, you
much
can.
in you. There's so
Yes.
much in you. You don't want that to lay stagnant anymore.
Right. You
Go ahead.
don't. And think about the end goal. Think about the destination. Think about where you're going to be in 3, 6, 12 months if you just keep pushing through the process, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
so interesting. I want y'all to really look at the sentence on your screen where it says show up even when the process
Mm-hmm.
feels uncomfortable. I want y'all to write that word down, process.
Yeah.
Process. That's so important because the process meaning your plan. You
Mm-hmm.
got to have a plan, right? You got to have a plan. We're not talking for those of you who tried things a couple of times and you stopped. What was your plan to keep going? What was your plan to keep moving forward? Because even when you have a process, right, and you start to feel uncomfortable, what's going to be the thing that's going to push you through is your plan.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to
Mm-hmm.
stay resilient and consistent with your process, even when you're uncomfortable, because you have a plan. I
Yeah.
just started my daily walk today. I was like, listen, I don't like how I'm looking in pictures. I'm
Mm.
getting bigger. The scale
I
ain't going
understand that.
down. So I'm like, you know what? Instead of me getting another gym membership that I know I'm not going to stay consistent with and just throw my money
Right.
down the drain,
Right.
let me just start walking. I have a beautiful park that's connected to a lake right up the street from my house. So I just went for a walk for an hour today, right before I did this show,
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
thing is that I didn't run, I didn't sprint. I just said, I'm just going to listen to my music and I'm going to walk. And
And
that's
do
going to
it
be
more.
my plan. I'm going to have this number of steps a day and I'm just going to keep going, right?
Yeah.
That is my plan. So I wouldn't have started this without doing a plan first, right? It makes you feel like you're not going willy nilly with everything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
again, ladies, you got to have a plan. You got to stay consistent. though when it gets uncomfortable, every time you set yourself out to do something, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're
Yeah.
going to have that. You're going to have different trials and tribulations that's going to go get in your way. Trust me, the past since 2-3 years now, I have had a lot of trials and tribulations that
Mm-hmm.
came to my way that I just said I'm going to push through. And trust me, I was uncomfortable, I cried, I was sad, this, that, and the third, but it just made me stronger. So what I want to tell you guys is that the minute you start thinking like I'm uncomfortable, I'm questioning myself, think about the destination. Think
Right.
about, if you keep pushing and if you keep showing up and if you keep, conquering whatever it is that you want to do, you're going to get to that goal. You're going to get to that destination. That needs to be the highlight of everything that you're doing. That needs to be the reason why. And every day time that you stop or procrastinate, and trust me, before I left this house today, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I wanted to take a nap. I was like this, that, and the third. But I'm like, what am I teaching my children? Like the minute I'm like, don't feel like doing something just to go lay down. No. So I got my sneakers
Yeah.
on. I went out the house. So
Yeah.
again, show up again. Show up even when you feel uncomfortable, even when you're questioning yourself, right?
Yeah.
Even when you're second guessing yourself. The goal is consistency. And I
Yep.
think we don't really talk about this often.
Mm-hmm.
When you're consistent doing the right thing, you're going to see results. It's just the formula of life. The
Mm-hmm.
more consistent you are, we're in the second quarter. Think about one or two things starting today that you can be consistent with, whether it be reading, walking, following up with people, inboxing, posting, going live, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You got to be consistent. And
Right.
don't look for instant gratification. Don't look for instant results. I'm not going to go on my scale on Monday and say, hey, I expect to lose 50 pounds. I know it's not going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to stay consistent,
Mm-hmm.
even when you don't see it just yet.
Yeah.
Eventually you're going to see the results. You're going to see the change. You're going to see the shift. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're going to look back and say, wow, I'm so glad I pushed through those moments where I felt uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's move to our second point, ladies.
Yes.
Our second point that I wanted to talk to you about what you need to do to show up. Here's the thing, ladies. You need to show up with the
Mm.
identity God has already given you.
Amen.
My question to you is, do you know your identity?
Yeah. Do you even know that? Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
and I guarantee you, for a lot of women right now, you don't know.
Hmm.
You will probably respond based on the current identity where you are right now. But here's the thing: the identity God has for you. Show up with the identity God has given you. You need to know who you are from His perspective. When you get to understand that, then your whole perspective would be different. It will become more solid. It will become more firm. You won't doubt yourself as much because now you got the realization. You finally realize, oh, I am a child of God. I am the apple of His eye. I am powerful. I'm already covered. He has given me more than enough to really get going, to start out. I have visions and dreams. There are things that I desire to do, and He's given me enough strength and to go ahead and get started, to move forward.
Right.
He already has said in His word that we hear all the time. I can do all things through Christ who
Hmm.
strengthens me.
Hmm.
Okay, so don't make it so religious. You said make yourself sound cute. No, you act on that. Because His
Hmm.
word is life. His word is active, so it
Right.
requires action on your part, on all of our
Hmm.
parts.
Hmm.
So we
Yep.
gotta take that activity. Again, we gotta, as you mentioned, consistency, and it's a
Right.
process. It's a skill
Yes.
work. It's a skill work. You're not going to get it automatically all the time. I know it, but if you
Hmm.
stay connected to Him, He will be connected to you. That's not even an
Hmm.
issue on His part.
Hmm.
He's not going to leave you high and dry. We do
Hmm.
that. We do
Hmm.
that. But we can always come back and we can stay locked in with Him
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
He will guide us to where we need to go, you know.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. I mean, just like you said, you want to get back and have good health. We all need to get back into doing the basic things. We don't have to go ahead and spend $100 a month unless you want to. That's your
Hmm.
prerogative as far as
Hmm.
going to a gym facility or whatever. But you could just go ahead and walk around your community or whatever the case may be,
Right. Yeah.
or what have you. But here's the thing: God said who you are. See, he promised you long life,
Right.
That's something we all desire to have, long life. And long
Mhm.
life means
Mhm.
you want to live beyond the years that is abnormal, so to speak. You want to be in, you want to live to be 100 for some
Mhm.
people, but and God will grant that for you. It's already a
Mhm.
given. But we got to do our part to make that happen. And that is
Yeah.
taking care of our bodies, taking care of our health, and also our mindset.
Mhm.
So yeah, you need to
Mhm.
show up every day with the identity of knowing who you are. But my
Yeah.
question comes back to you again. Do you know who you are
Yeah.
from God's perspective? If you do not know, guess what? He can show you. He can tell
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
for real. Because he created us. He knows
Yeah.
you. So he would definitely be happy to share the identity of you. You are God's child. You
Mhm.
represent him. So that right there is number one. And number
Mhm.
two, you are royalty. You are part of
Mhm.
a royal priesthood.
Mhm.
Okay. So there's greatness in you already.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, you may feel a little bit off and a little bit, like slow, what have you. God knows what you had to endure, what you
Yep.
went through, and all those things. This ain't nothing new to him, right? But he's ready to direct your path. He's ready to show you the way, but it has to be his way, not yours. Okay, that's where the conflict gets,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we easily want to go and do it our way. But
Yeah.
if you trust him and believe in him, he knows exactly which way you should take. But it's a
Yep.
process. But once you get to know who you are from God's perspective, girlfriend, you can conquer anything. You can
Mhm.
things happen. And
Yep.
just
Yep.
like Patricia said, it's not going to happen overnight. It is a
Nope.
growth. It's a growth
Yeah.
process. It really, really is. And that's
Mhm.
something as adults we have to start training ourselves because
Right.
we're in this microwave society. We want things to happen quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah. We do. We
And
do.
well, it ain't gonna happen. It's
Yep.
gonna
You
happen.
gotta have reality to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, babe.
You know, I love the conversation of identity because once you know what your identity is, you got to stop letting things trigger you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we do that a lot as women. We allow people to trigger us. We allow situations to trigger us, our past to trigger us, right? You got to keep moving forward. Once you know identity, once you know your God-given identity, you got to operate in that.
Yeah.
You know, you can't operate in that by being regretful of all of your past mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You got to say, "Hey, I hold myself accountable
Yeah.
for this, that, and the third. Now I got to forgive myself and I
Mm-hmm.
got to move forward in the newness, the new awareness of me." I
Yeah.
very rarely, very, very rarely let things bother me or get to me these days. I do. I really, and focus on that part in the Bible where it tells you to really come slow to anger. It's not that I don't get like internally
Mm-hmm.
emotional.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when you are stepping into yourself, the person that you're supposed to be, the woman that you're becoming,
Mm-hmm.
all the small stuff that people say and do don't matter no more. It
Yeah.
really doesn't.
It's start to
You
phase
know,
out. Yeah.
right? You're gonna really see your. I think your circle and your environment is so important. It
Mhm.
predicates on what direction you're going in.
Yeah.
So the conversations you have, the things that you're thinking about, you got to really take captivity over that, you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
and so that way you can show up as your true self, because like you just said here, that God has given you, He's given you something. And sometimes we know He gave it to us, but we feel like, okay, we're not going to pick it up and use it.
Mhm.
Right. So just like as you just said, just show up in who you are, and don't be triggered by individuals that either don't accept who you are, don't
Yeah.
believe that you are who you are.
Mhm.
Sometimes people can't take the person that you are, but realize it this way: that's who you are the first all along. And also, you got to see people for who they are,
Yeah. True.
right? You got to
True.
see people and accept people for who they are. What
Mhm.
I mean why I say that is when you try to operate and want to change people, that's not good. You focus on changing yourself. You focus on asking God, listen, Lord, you show me what my identity is. Now help me operate in that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Help me.
Mhm.
I think there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about the meditations of our mind. Asking God to really take
Mhm.
control over what we meditate on, what we think about, what we speak over ourselves and the people around us. Those things are so important. So yeah, that's what I have to say to that. Yep.
Yeah, and it is important because we see it every day on social media where a lot of these young ladies are they are going through an identity crisis,
Oh
and
yes,
they're following the imagery of what they see on social media. They want to replicate what they see all the time, and what
all the
they
time.
see in the mirror they don't like, but what they
Yeah.
see on was AI or whatever,
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
want that. They want to
They
look
want that.
like that. They want to have that
Right.
nose. They want to have the the lips. They want to have the hair and
Yeah.
all of that. That's what they identify because they
Hmm.
see that it draws the attraction to people like, oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's not smart. That's not a good thing to do because the
Nope.
people that you want to give you that attention, trust me, it's not going to be who you think it is. We have
Right.
seen that
Right.
enough, how that can turn into a tragedy for most women. So
Right.
that's why it's so important to ask God, show me from from your eyes, oh
Your
God.
eyes.
you know
Nobody else's.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he will let you know who you are.
Yep.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful response when he shows you and tells you who you are.
Hmm.
And, you have to learn how to love the skin that you're in. You got to learn to
Hmm.
love the beauty of you.
Hmm.
Okay, you got to learn to love your imperfections.
Yeah, you gotta love it, and you gotta accept it too, and not
Yeah,
look at flaws as imperfections. They're just who you are. They
it's
makes you
who you
different.
are.
Like, we all cannot look all the same. And I love that you touched on how people are trying to surgically change themselves, get bigger lips, bigger, bigger boobs, bigger butt. And a lot of people are now, even like Cardi B, I don't really listen to her music that much, but she's talking about like taking out all these injections that she put in her body
Oh,
all
really?
these years. Yeah, yeah. She said after she's done with this tour, she's going to go to the doctor and get all the injections, taken out. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? It's like, why are we doing this in the first place?
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? It's like you ask yourself, like, why? Why am I doing this? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for other people? More often than not, it's mostly for other people.
Yeah.
So just be comfortable with you. Just be
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with you, and
Mm-hmm.
don't make those changes to yourself that you're gonna regret. Do it for you. You know. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll be honest, out of the three that I came up with these points, this is the one that I like the most because I noticed that that is a major problem
Yes, it is.
for a lot of people here on this planet. It's about their identity.
Yeah.
And the enemy loves to manipulate and distort people's
If he
view.
can do that, he got you.
Yep, exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Right. So let's go to our last point for tonight, ladies. So I want you ladies to show up. When Tisha was just talking about this, show up
Yep.
consistently, even when no one is
Is watching.
watching.
Yep. There's always somebody watching. Let's say that.
But it is. But in our way of thinking,
We
we
think
don't
it's
think
not.
nobody. Yeah, we think
Yeah.
no one is.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what is the point? Why do I need to continue working? Why do I need to continue to come on this blog and or whatever? Because no one's showing up, and
Right.
so yes, you still got to keep doing this. You got to show up regardless,
Regardless.
even if the numbers didn't go up for you,
Mm-hmm.
even if
Mm-hmm.
you know, you may get people who decide not to be a part of your group chat or whatever.
Right. Right.
You still show up regardless. I had to learn that down through the years. I took it personal, because I'm like, why you don't want to be a part of my group or a part of this? Da, 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 da. I got good quality stuff and this, that, or whatever. I used to take that stuff personal. But y'all, I like, you know what? God gave me this, and He's going to
Yeah.
bring the right source of right resources of people that will purchase my products or support my business and both or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not going to waste my time, my energy stressing and worrying about,
Right. Right.
why people are not buying my products or why people are not supporting my
Mm-hmm.
podcast or why
Mm-hmm.
people are not this, that, or whatever. Ain't got time for that. As you get older in life, you realize none of this stuff don't even serve you no
It
good.
does not serve you
It
no
just
good.
doesn't.
Nope.
It really doesn't. You start to value life a little bit more different by the time when you get there. You would start like, you know what? Okay, I enjoy making these things. I enjoy doing this, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to let the lack of support or the haters or the naysayers or whatever to strip me from my identity or my
Right.
reasons or my purpose as to why I do what I do.
Right. Right.
Okay. So I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep, launching my business or brand, showcasing my brand. I'm going to keep showing up and,
Yep.
and still give people advice. I'm not no expert, but I'm just going to share from my personal experience. I'm going to keep on doing what I need to do because
Yep.
I know that it is helping somebody.
Yep.
Okay. I may not get an entourage of feedback like you
Hmm.
may see on other people's TikTok or Twitch or what other platforms out there. But if there's one person that responds, I done my job.
You've done your job, because that is just going to compound. And you got to ask yourself, who's really talking when it comes to when you're looking at your consistency and you're like, oh my God, nobody's watching, nobody's gauging. Is your ego talking?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that is
true.
that the part that's talking? We're like, oh my God, this is great stuff. There should be thousands and thousands of people, like
Yeah.
literally, like on this content. You got to realize that right now, where there's so much distraction for your consumers and the people that you want to help, it may take some time for them to get to you. But if you're not posting, if you're not showing up, if you're not being consistent, when they do get to you and they just see all these huge gaps, you show up when they're not, then they're going to go to somebody else that is consistent. So you got to really think about, let me build up my presence. And on top of that, when people do come to you, do you have a strategy to get them into your world? What is your process? What do
Mhm.
you have in place for that? For some of you, if you had a thousand people come to your website today, will you be actually able to service them, or will they complain that your services take too long for turnaround? Like, there's so many things that could come up. So as you are building consistency, build that back end up. Make sure the back end is on point. Make sure it's making money for you while you're sleeping. You
Right.
know, we want what we want, but is your structure build out right? Business is more than just likes and comments. It's the structure on the front end and it's the structure on the back end as well. It's your personal brand, it's your personal identity. It's
Yes.
so many different things as factors into that. Or you reaching out to people. I always say that social media is about being social. People say all the time, nobody's liking and commenting on my stuff. Well, how many people did you like and comment on their posts?
Mm-hmm.
You can't get what you don't give. I say this all the time to my clients. If you want more engagement, you got to get out there and be an engager.
Mm-hmm.
You can't become something that you're not already putting the foot out there for yourself. So understand and have perspective, guys. Don't let your ego lead your business or your life. Don't let that happen. You might say, well, I don't have a good ego. I don't have an ego. Some people, I don't have an ego. Some people think ego is like cockiness. No, everyone has one. You can have a good ego, you can have a bad ego. But
Mm-hmm.
the bad ego can be the one that's speaking most when you're looking at a post, you're like, well, nobody liked and comment.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you doing? The ones that finally, when you do get engagement, there's so many people, I find that the minute people are liking and commenting on their posts, I don't care what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Are you connecting with them? Are you saying, hey, thank you so much for your like, thank you so much for your comment, things like that? Start building up on those things now.
Yeah.
So again, show up consistently. What I mean by consistency is not once a week, it's not once a month, it's consistent. It's a consistent time where you are doing the right things,
Yeah.
right? You got to have a process, you got to have a goal, but you got to be consistent. You just
Mm-hmm.
do. You just do. And the thing about business is the people find hard is being consistent with doing the things that are just repetitive,
Mm-hmm.
or boring. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? That,
Mm-hmm.
but if you keep doing those things, is going to lead to results.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That is the truth. There's a woman that I follow on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and I started following her maybe a few months ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a single mom. She has two young adults, children, and she, living, an average life. She's
Mm-hmm.
not living fashionably or whatever. And she comes on pretty much every day, if not every other day. And
Oh,
she
cool.
just goes and just showcase, what she does. And her apartment is not big, it's not small, but it's just enough, the right amount size for her and her her two kids, and her
Right.
pets. She got two cats, I think, three cats maybe, and two dogs or something to that effect. But she comes on, she showcase her cleaning. She does some rearranging in her apartment.
Oh
She,
wow.
she goes and does some DIYs. She goes and she doesn't own a car, so she'll probably take public transportation, or she gets the Uber to go to the dollar store or Dollar General or Walmart, because those are the places that she normally would go. She's
Uh-huh.
since now have built an Amazon wish list or something like that, where people, that want to support her, they will go ahead and, bless her, whatever. And that has
Right.
happened. So since then, when I came across her video, I was looking at the numbers of people that has subscribed to her channel, and it was like less than 1,000 plus, maybe around 800, 700, somewhere in there. But since then, now she's almost to 3,000 viewers or
Yeah. Yeah.
supporters.
Yeah.
And, because of her consistency. And
Yep.
she's no different than anybody like me, like Tisha, or anyone. She's just showing up, and she's
She
coming
just
up
showing
with
up.
different content, each
That's
day.
it.
She comes on talking about, well, yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of, painting here. I'm just going to take this and refurbish it, and this is what I have. This is what I got to work with, but I'm very grateful for it, blah, 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 blah. And so I said, I won't even be surprised by the time the end of this year expires. Miss Thing
she's
gonna
gonna
have,
she's gonna skyrocket. You
yeah,
know, there's gonna be people that's gonna criticize your consistency. We don't often talk about that. There's
yeah,
gonna be a lot of people because they're like, well, you're not making no money. You're not doing this. There's some people that's gonna criticize and see and feel that all the work and effort that you have put in throughout the years didn't
yeah.
go nowhere. You got to keep pushing forward. You
Hmm.
know, don't let life stop your consistency. It should push you even harder. It should push
Right.
you. Hold on, somebody's trying to call me.
Hmm.
Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah, it should definitely push you further for sure. So listen, we're gonna move on to our
Sorry about
what's
that.
news. That's okay. We're gonna move on
Mm,
to our what's news now. Did you want to conclude what you said, babe? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
like there's going to be people that are going to want to criticize your consistency, your passion, the work that you're putting in. Because I,
Mm,
I say that because a lot of people get confused. They be like, well, I'm showing up, I'm being present, I'm still getting told like it's not enough. Like, no,
yeah,
you
yeah,
keep pushing through for yourself. You just keep moving for yourself. That's what it's
exactly.
about. Yeah.
Exactly. So these are the 3 points, ladies, that just wanted to touch bases with you tonight. Again, it's just a reminder to
Right.
stay focused, to keep
Mm-hmm.
going no matter what it is that pursuing, or starting or continuing. Just keep going no matter what. We are pretty much halfway done with this year almost,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's
Mm-hmm.
going by so quick.
Yeah.
you know,
Fast.
I mean, before you know it, June's gonna be here, y'all. It's already April, so before you know it, June's gonna be here. And so, I know a lot of you ladies probably had some plans and goals, in other words, that you wanted to accomplish, and it could be really discouraging, because life happens,
Yep.
things happens in life, and it could just really have you feeling doubtful about some things. But just keep going. If you
Keep
just put
going.
10% of it each day, just that little bit, that makes a difference than that
Yeah.
90%. You know what I'm saying? So definitely do that. So we move into our next segment, which is called What's News. Our What's News is where we pretty much put the spotlight on individuals who are doing some wonderful things across
Mm-hmm.
America. And so
Mm-hmm.
our dear sister Leticia, I mean not Tisha, Therese, she has blessed us with this article, which is absolutely kind of amazing here. And this is a Black business student at Duke University. They decided to create this phenomenal idea. It's
Oh.
called Washletics detergent for active wear odors. So
Right.
they decided to address a boring laundry problem with a meaningful solution. And so it goes on for those with smelly gym clothes.
Oh.
That business student has launched a game changing detergent with you in mind. At As a first year MBA student at Duke University, I think Fuquay, I think. I don't know if I pronounced the name right. School of Business, Adrian Abrams had
Uh-huh.
planned to bring his own ideas to the startup world. The 29-year-old pupils recently launched Washletics, a detergent with
Mm-hmm.
clean ingredients that removes deep sweat odors from active wear. Oh, I like it. That's cool. So it eliminates sweat odors with one wash.
Oh,
So he
that's
does
good.
have an Instagram page called Washletics.
That's a
Um
good name.
yeah, man, the idea came from his creation of a personalized detergent. However, how exactly he would grow the business remained a mystery. He
Mm-hmm.
returned to school for another chance at his entrepreneurial ambitions, applying coursework to his own business strategy. As Washletics came to fruition, classmates became his startup's first customers. His plan for the sweat focused product secured Abrams a top prize at the Duke Venture Capital pitch competition this semester. Now he plans to scale operations to take Washletics to washing machines nationwide. That is so cool.
That is important because let me tell you, these boys. I don't know if you had the problem with your girls, but I have two boys and baby, whew, I have to put pine sol in the laundry. It's I love this when you see like a need in the market. The fact that
Mhm.
he filled it with this, I think is important. He can get sponsorships from different, sports, leagues in high schools, colleges,
Yeah, for
all kinds of
sure.
stuff. Yeah, I
Therese,
I
can you
tell him just
pull up the picture of him holding his product? That you can scroll
yes.
down,
Let's
you
see his
see him.
picture. Let's see what he
Yeah,
look like. Let's see what he
he
look
said
like.
he told Duke well, yeah, he said, Adrian, it just works, something like that. He said how it works, however, is by, he says, skipping the extra step of scent beads and other deodorizers. Instead, Washletics features an odor targeting enzyme blend to remove odors from sweat heavy items.
Yeah.
Knowing that most detergents
Oh
leave
wow,
behind the oil and
tree.
bacteria. It stopped
She
it
did it
right.
on purpose. Make it bigger, girl. My God, today.
He 29, girl. He
I
29.
thought it was like a little teenager. Y'all suck. Fix my hair.
Oh, you gonna make me choke.
I thought y'all talking about like a teenager, but I was like, man, this is- oh my God. We gotta take a break.
Oh, Lordy. Yeah,
Like I looked
girl.
down, I looked up, I was like, oh my, what? Listen, he come over to my laundry. I'm dirty. I'm so close.
Jesus.
He do my laundry.
I believe he is single.
Okay. What's his Instagram? Jeez.
Well, I don't know, but
Who
I know
put
he
this
has.
on here? Who is you? It was you? This is you?
No, this Therese.
Oh my God. She's like, I'm gonna get her. She
Oh,
goes, yeah.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, y'all.
She said, forget the Washletics. Just watch him.
Okay, that's the package. Got it. Got it. Got
Yeah,
it.
that's the
Okay.
package, mama. That's the package.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
wow.
Oh God, I'm
As
drooling.
I was saying, girl. Yeah, he's a special chocolate drop. Yes, he
Yes, he
is.
is, honey. Listen. Okay. What are we talking
He
about?
said
Oh yeah.
no.
So he how much is the how much is that? What's the
I don't
price?
even know. I don't know. but he's explaining how his product works. So,
Okay.
he's saying forget about those scent beads. There's a
Sit beads.
special product enzyme blend that helps. It gets deep uh
Oh,
in the crevices of
girl,
the.
stop saying trigger words, girl. Sit deep in the. All right, let's focus.
Yes, it gets in between,
Yes.
the
Okay.
fibers. There you go. Thank you, Lord. The fibers
The fibers.
of
Got it.
clothing that will lift up, those oil and bacteria that produced by sweat on
Mr.
clothes.
Clean, the black Mr. Clean.
Yeah, you know what? That is the truth. Child,
Oh,
listen.
that's his Instagram trees. Hold on. Let me see
So
Instagram.
these enzymes eliminate the unwanted residue, resulting in truly fresh activewear for the next workout session. So,
Mm,
Washletics also bypasses the heavy dyes used in many name brand detergents, so you don't have to worry about your skin, get irritated by that. So creating an all natural solution to an issue that plagues athletes and active adults with his mission to revolutionize clothing care and address lingering smells. Abrams is also focused on tailoring his project for a technological future. So there's a lot of momentum around Washletics right now, but what excites me most is the bigger picture. He said, I want to be part of a generation of Black founders that
mm.
uses emerging technologies like AI to rethink and innovate in categories that have been overlooked for decades. Some of the biggest opportunities aren't in flashy products. He said they're in everyday essentials that haven't meaningfully evolved. My goal is to build in that space and show what's possible when you apply new tools to boring problems.
Right.
So he plans to use his upcoming degree to shape Washletics' vision, using the knowledge he gains to further his business and expand his customer base. As he sets out to dominate household shelves, the detergent's foundational formula is now available for pre-order. This
Oh,
is awesome. So yeah, you can go ahead and check him out.
I'm definitely gonna order it.
Yeah, so I know he has Instagram for Washletics. I'm pretty sure he has an Instagram with his name
Hmm.
as well, or pretty
Hmm.
sure when you go on
Right.
Instagram and Washletics, this I'm pretty sure he's connected or link
Hmm.
that you can find him for
Hmm.
sure. But this is absolutely phenomenal. Again, his name is Adrian Adrian Abrams.
And
So
you
you
know
definitely.
what I realized, and I could be wrong, but there's not a lot of black representation in the laundry care products. I mean,
Mm,
you go down the aisle, Tide is definitely not black owned. Gain, all the products that we get. Y'all share in the comments what y'all use for your laundry. And it's true what you read, how a lot of times the packaging is not pretty, but when you're using it, you don't get that result. You don't get
yeah,
like it's smelling good or it's getting rid of all the germs and stuff like that. So yeah,
yeah.
this is
I
important.
see this to be a very phenomenal success for him because, as you mentioned, those who have kids or
Yeah,
college students that are athletic,
active
skilled,
kids. Yeah,
yeah, that are in those type activities. Yes, Lord, they need that detergent that can really lift out that stuff. I don't, my kids, of course, they were not active in that regard, but I've
yeah.
been around those students that have
Hmm.
been, in those kind of sports. And,
Right.
whether it's basketball, football, you name it, when you have active kids participate in different things, you know how it is. They're going to sweat
Yeah. They're gonna sweat.
no
This
matter
is
what.
part of yeah. No matter what, they're gonna sweat.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great product. I think we should definitely support. Therese put the Instagram in the chat for you guys. Plus the where the blog is there. She put that up
Mhm.
there. And yeah, let's support this brother.
Yeah, Lord, support him, support him. I mean, this is phenomenal. I can't wait to see what happens next for him because, of course,
Yeah.
nowadays now you can use beads, like you said, detergent beads, and he may decide
Yeah.
to do that, but it won't have all the perfumey kind of situation that
Right. Right.
most detergents do have. For me
Right.
personally, I like fragrant stuff. I've always been
Me
that
too.
way. Now he
Hmm.
may decide to do that,
Yeah.
but
And that's what a lot of companies do. They start up with one product, they sell it, and then they get, they add on more products. So yeah, I see him doing that as well.
yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, y'all. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a great what's news. Thank you,
Oh,
Teresa.
that was amazing. Thanks,
Yeah,
Therese. That
that
made
was
my day.
definitely. So, but other than that, ladies, we will be back next week.
I'm
And
gonna download some of his pictures. You know what I'm saying?
girl,
So I have it in my keepsake.
uh,
Big little folder. Mr. Clean.
listen, he probably will be the model for his products.
He
Okay,
better. Shoot, he don't need
okay.
nobody else. He better. Shoot. That's
He's
great.
perfect frame, honey.
Because you think, like, when you think laundry, you always think women. So he could, and this is why I have to give him credit. He could easily got a female to take all those pictures, but
Got it.
you mostly think women. So I'm glad that he's bringing some masculinity, making it fun for men to also help because it's a with laundry, since we're
Yeah.
washing their clothes anyway. But I think that's awesome how the marketing aspect. That's what I'm thinking about, like, the marketing aspect of it. So congrats to you, brother.
Yeah, that is a great point. Because of course, in society, when it comes to home care, it's usually the woman that does that. But now you have a lot of men who are
Hmm.
now being stay-at-home dads,
Hmm.
and they are washing clothes too. So even
Hmm.
themselves, yeah, and even for adults that go to the gym too to work out.
Yep, there's a lot of
It's
young men going to college, they do
yeah,
their own laundry. Yeah, I mean, this is great. This is great. So, y'all know, support, support, support. Sometime is coming, so it's going to be a lot of laundry need to be done. But listen, guys, thank y'all so much for joining us this evening. It's been an amazing show. We love doing What's News and bringing some newness, some new developments to each and every one of you. We'll be back here on Monday for episode 6 of our Sister to Sister Connection Talk Show. We have some things coming up, and we're going to let you guys know more about that on our upcoming episode. So, as always, love on your sister. Bye, guys.
bye, y'all.